So for this part actually, kalau sebelum ni kita akan tengok macam mana dia punya flow untuk how you uh, proses untuk buat ni lah kan, untuk product design kan. Okay, that one is for the first chapter lah. It's just an introduction to product and process design, and mostly we are focusing on the product design, and the source of the mainly the source is from the natural source. Okay, which uh, you can read it from the Venn textbooks. Okay, the chain of the chemical products, and the feedstock, the main feedstock is from the nature. Okay, macam is the air kan, natural gas, crude oil, minerals, and also living things lah, including biomass, what else, something that the living things is organic components lah, organic compounds. And so what is the difference between B2B and also B2C products? So B2B is mostly a big company. Okay, they are producing also another feedstock that can be used uh, by the chemical company, and also chemical company will produce another uh, raw materials that can be used by the polymer companies and so on, until it can be used by the consumers lah. But for B2C product, kalau B2C products ni dia punya life cycle ni very short kan. So mostly we are considering the consumer preference lah. Okay, kalau consumer tak suka, you punya produk tu memang you tak akan dapat profit lah. Okay, and we have to update or revise, or you have to find since the lifetime is very short, right? So you kena modify, you kena dapatkan, kena tengok market trend kan, kena keluarkan panggil new brands, okay, new function, okay, untuk you dapatkan final yang consumer nak lah. Okay, for example lotion, apa lagi, sanitizer, that one is the B2C product, but B2B is the life cycle is very long lah. Okay, and I already also explained about the task and the phase, which is they have a three phases. Okay, conceptualization, you have to remember phase one, and then detail design and also prototyping. Okay, this one I just recall back what uh, what I have already explained in the last class. Right? Phase two is detail designing. Okay, and then prototyping. That one is the phase two lah. And then phase three is the product manufacturing and also launching. Okay, they have a five. If I still remember, they have a five job function or the task: management, business marketing, research and design, manufacturing, and also finance. Is a marketing economics. Okay, yeah. And then what else? The timeline. Okay, or the objective time chart. Okay, that one you have to remember lah. Objective time chart. How to how in order to achieve the main objective. So you have a very small objective in order to achieve the big goals. And house of quality. You have to know. I already signed you the homework, right? So you have to do the house of quality. This is important, I think, for the house of quality to see your competitor. What is the special or the advantage of your products? Okay, from the house of quality. And what else? I think also we have what we call it as a innovation map. Okay, they have a four stage, right? Materials process, that what is the first stage, and then technical differentiation, product, and also consumer value propositions. So that is a four stage of the innovation map. Okay, so I think that is the what we cover in the chapter one, and also some workflow diagrams, right? Starting from the phase 1, phase 2, and also phase 3. Okay, you can see in my PowerPoint slide. Okay, so that is for the previous chapter. Okay, so for mostly for the previous chapter, first chapter is we introduce the key issue in the dalam designing new chemical products lah. So that is the key issue and the how to say macam method. Okay, macam mana you nak buat produk lah. Okay. Okay. So in order you nak complete that the first chapter, okay, there are many aspects that you have to consider lah. Okay, for the product design. Okay, so of course the first one you have to address the design literature. Okay, and modern method in searching of the information. For example, like you have to determine the journals, right? What else? Um, some database from your company. Okay, that is the first step that you have to consider. Okay, before you starting to proceed, you nak design the product lah. Okay, and then you have to create the new attractive chemical products. Okay, yang ni you kena consider. Okay, macam mana you nak design the very attractive kan? Sebab consumer kadang-kadang memang dia tengok appearance dulu. Okay, itu apa yang company boleh buat untuk you flourish the environment in your company, right? Okay, and then we will discuss also about the alternative energy sources rather than the nature, not the nature, rather than the petroleum and also oil. Okay, like wind, biofuels. Okay, what else? Geothermal and so on. I think all of you know about the renewable energy, okay, or alternative energy lah, that currently we are trying to find sources, okay, that can replace the petroleum and also natural gas. Okay, and key environmental concern, which is this one is more to kalau dulu, okay, banyak company kita tak concern about the environment when we want to design the product, right? Okay, but now they have many orang panggil apa tu panggil macam standard ataupun yang daripada DOE tu kan. Okay, itu semua kita kena consider kan. And sustainability issue, how to maintain your feedstock, okay, and in term of macam mana you boleh guna balik, okay, what is the meaning of the sustainable and how to measure this sustainability lah, okay, and especially is going to affect the environmental punya concern lah, okay. Safety issue, I don't think we will discuss for this part because you already cover during the safety course, okay, for the safety courses. So I'm not cover for this part lah. Okay, and also engineering ethics is maybe all of you know the ethics as engineers, right? But we just recall it back about the engineering ethics lah. Okay. So this is the learning outcomes. Design literature, stimulating innovation, energy, environment, sustainability, safety, and engineering ethics. Design literature is how to find the information, the database. Okay, invention and innovation, environmental protection, sustainability, and also engineering ethics. This is what we cover for this part. Okay. So I hope that you know more knowledgeable about what you have to do before you start to design the product. Okay. And you can solve any design problem, okay, for if anything happen. Okay, so hari ni try, sebenarnya chapter ni adalah antara chapter yang orang panggil macam mana yang paling pendek lah sebenarnya. Okay, sebab is more like a general information. Dia tak tak panjang lah macam chapters lepas ni. Sebab for this course, I think we just cover 5 chapters. Okay. Kalau dalam buku uh, product and process design tu memang some part je lah. Okay, mostly is on the product design. Okay, dah beli buku kan? So saya harap awak boleh refer buku lah. Okay? Sebab ada aktiviti yang akan kena refer buku. Yeah, is a new edition. I think for new book is the color is red. Okay, for design literature, uh, kalau dalam ini adalah starting point lah. Kalau dalam chemical product and process design lah. So you kena access um, banyak-banyak benda lah sebelum you buat kan. Dia macam you buat PSM lah kan. Okay, semua dah ambil PSM kan. Saya tak ingat. Ataupun kalau you nak buat proses design kan, yang sekarang you tengah ambil kan. So what you have to do is, as a design team, you have to access to like company files, okay, open the literatures and some patterns, okay. So that all those thing you have to do lah, okay. So sebenarnya is gonna be very helpful, okay. Uh, some information that related to the product that you have want to design and everything is there. If not available in the company files or some database in your company, so you have to refer to the outside sources like how you find the journals, right, and some pattern from the Google patterns or other website that related to the patterns, okay. Some data that we need, like what is it, physical properties of the components, right? What is the flow sheet? Okay, the equipment description. So all these things you have to consider. Okay, faham eh? So design literature is important lah. Okay. So the first thing, how to determine the information resources lah. Okay. So there's sebenarnya is the information kita boleh dapat mana-mana. Okay, there is a very vast information resources available actually. Okay, even kalau sekarang ni you just type je dekat Google kan. Okay. Kita boleh divide sebenarnya into two sources. Okay. Primary source and also secondary sources lah. Okay. Kalau primary source ni macam artikel, patterns, right? Okay. So ini adalah primary source lah. Okay. Journal, handbook. And general source is like Google, Google Scholar, Wikipedia. This is directly you can access from the website with uh, second method. Okay, sekarang banyak komputer lah. Okay, link the direct, indirect. Okay, the website lah. So sebenarnya penting macam you nak cari SDS kan, hazard safety. Of course, all the component have SDS. Itu yang penting lah. Okay, faham eh? Okay, let's see the example of the primary source. Reputable journal articles. This is from the Web of Science, Scopus, ScienceDirect, Wiley. ResearchGate kan. ResearchGate ni sebenarnya bagus sebab apa tau? Some journal we cannot access is unsubscribe. Okay. So what we have to do by you ResearchGate is like apa? MedSox, but for the researcher lah. You boleh directly macam mana? You message the authors, okay, untuk you dapatkan the original article. Macam tu lah. Kalau saya tak boleh access ke macam Scopus ataupun ScienceDirect, saya akan message lah. Saya akan message through ScienceDirect and they will give you the articles. Macam tu. Itu yang saya suka ScienceDirect lah. Okay. ResearchGate. Okay. Sebab bukan semua orang boleh access kan. Bukan semua universiti uh, macam Harvard or the Cambridge yang kita boleh subscribe all the journals. Okay. Faham eh? Itu adalah salah satu information yang penting lah. Sekejap eh. Kalau saya tengok ni, Nazah. Nazah awak join juga ke ni? Sini. Nazah ada juga Chemical Product Design.
Sibuk je tu Nazar tu. Dia bukan
Ha?
ada confirm ke?
Masuk ke apa Nazar?
Ha,
Mana dia?
masuk.
Adjust sikit.
Awak dah ambil ni kan? Physical cam. Macam mana awak boleh masuk sini ni?
Dia tertekan tu, tekan buka kat
Sorry,
link
sorry,
banyak.
salah, sorry.
Dia boleh je kalau awak nak join.
Okay, selamat.
Ha. Okey. Okey. Tak apa. Saya ingat itulah student yang ni tak ada masuk pula kan. Yang baru. Saya message pun dia tak ada reply. Bahaya juga ni. Tak faham lah.
Aduh. Baik
Eh.
tu cari dia.
Saya message tak dapat.
Aduh, tu siap cari dia.
Betul lah. Saya tak adalah sebab dia dah register. Takkanlah tak nak join kelas kan. So it's meaningless sebab you bayar. Benda ni kalau tak bayar saya tak ada kisah. Bukanlah kata tak kisah, maksudnya rugilah you bayar kan. Okay.
Betul.
Hmm. So at least you attend lah. You got some information lah. Okay. About this courses lah. Okay. So that is it just continue lah. And then primary source kan. Another one is a pattern lah. Of course, is important pattern. Okay. Sebab pattern ni kalau kita tengok kita tak boleh nak tiru tau. Sebab kalau kita tiru, of course you kena sue lah. Okay. And then we can have some idea actually from the pattern. Okay. Is it many company producing, for example, like hand sanitizer, right? What is the formulation, right? But you cannot use a similar formulation, but you have your own formulation. Right? So from the pattern, you boleh by house of quality of the house quality yang chapter 1 tu kan, you boleh buat orang panggil comparison lah. Okay, from the pattern lah. Kalau biasanya yang saya guna, saya tak ingat. SpaceNet Lens. Saya biasa guna yang Lens lah. Lens.org. Okay, all the companies. Saya akan refer kat situ lah. Okay, even for the KPT, they are more focusing using on the Lens lah. Rather than EPO or SpaceNet lah. Okay, so dia banyak patterns lah kat sini. Okay, but before we apply the grant also, we have to compare sama ada kan dah banyak tak orang buat produk ni kan, research on that particular product lah, okay, ataupun anything lah, okay, kalau tak banyak lagi bagus lah, okay, that is very new, okay. And also encyclopedia and also handbooks lah. This one I think all of you know about the Paris Chemical Engineering. Ni very popular lah among the chemical engineers lah. CRC yang tu memang popular. Kan, Chemical Engineering Handbooks. Ini tiga ni memang popular. Paris ni antara yang lama lah. Okay, kalau dulu susah nak dapat, sekarang online senang kan. Dulu saya terpaksa beli kan, yang sangat-sangat tebal. I think is around 500 or almost 1000 pages just to get this Paris Chemical Engineering Handbooks lah. Hard copy right, and the price is 200 I think at that time. Okay, but it's very very useful lah, this handbook. But now you can access from any website to get this Paris Chemical Engineering Handbook. Okay. Okay, and then as a conclusion, actually, yeah, the searching of the information is very important and essential before you start to the process design. Similarly, when you want to do the plant design project, right? The design of the literatures and also feasibility is the first thing that you have to do. Okay? Sebab kalau tak, you tak dapat the overview of your process lah. Okay. Updated accurate information, okay, enables designers to create a new solution to a problem and to verify the design idea kan. Banyak sekarang memang kalau in term of idea information sekejap je kan. Dia laju je. Dia tak macam dulu. Okay. Kalau you nak writing book pun is a very very sangat cepat kalau nak, especially in term of IT lah. that related with the orang panggil apa, komputer kan. Itu memang lagi laju. Even sekarang handphone pun tengoklah Apple dah Apple 13 kan. Itu memang memang laju lah. Saya punya handphone pun banyak apps yang dah tak compatible. Nak tak nak memang kena beli yang baru. Itu in term of handphone. Bayangkan kalau orang yang tak ada duit tu macam mana kan. Saya pun tak ada duit. Tengah fikir banyak kali nak beli baru ke tak baru. Okey kan. Tapi bila dah tak banyak compatible terpaksa lah. Okey. Sebab banyak yang updated. Even last times yang WhatsApp kan, banyak yang dah tak boleh nak install kan, handphone dah tak compatible kan. Nak tak nak siapa yang handphone lama tu kena tukar. That's in term of the technology lah. In term information also similar. Journal kan. Kalau awak tengok sekarang ni everyday memang banyak orang submit journal kan. Not like the last 10 years or 20 years dulu. Sebelum ada internet kan. Ataupun internet is very limited kan. Okay. Journal is, yalah, the updating on the information is very sangat cepat lah. Okay. So its conclusion primary and general source is secondary lah. Itu yang penting So that is about the orang panggil the introduction about or the general information about the design literature lah. Okay, mana-mana pun kalau you buat apa-apa pun macam undergraduate project, what else lah? Plant design project, okay, and also this one is product design. Design literature is the first thing that you have to do lah, phase 1. Yeah, feasibility study lah. Okay, faham ya? Okay. So the second part is about the stimulating invention and innovations lah. Yang ni macam mana kita nak tengok kan, the innovation map kan. Macam mana you nak panggil apa in your company lah, macam mana you nak stimulate. Dia stimulate ni innovation macam you nak promote in term of innovation lah, you punya suasana company itulah. Supaya your company boleh produce the target the product with the goal kan, macam mana nak encourage that, kita panggil encourage lah. Okay, innovation ni kan culture dalam in your company. What is the clear goals of the company kan. Okay, apa facilities yang you boleh provide, the company can provide lah. Okay, so that your company can flourish sangat in term of ni lah, you punya ni kan, product design ni lah. Okay. Okay. So innovation map yang saya kata sebenarnya is linkage between new technologies and also consumer needs lah. Okay. Dalam you nak create the innovative new chemical products. So selalunya kalau product design is more technical lah. Okay. Dia melibatkan not only one team but is many teams. Physics, chemist, biologist. Biasanya kalau chemist is fundamental kan. Tapi you as a chemical you akan apply. Okay, bahagian marketing akan buat ekonomi lah. Itulah. Yeah. So kalau step to create the environment in which invention and innovation flourish lah. Yang ni kan. This section discuss step taken by companies to create an environment in which invention and innovation flourish. Apa you punya step kan? Okay, apa you punya idea lah. Okay, kalau you tengok ni kan, invention and innovation needs to be encouraged and company apply different strategies to ensure they continue to create and innovate. Okay, go through the article given section 3.2. Siapa yang ada buku tu kan? Kalau awak tengok buku tu kan, you baca sekejap. List down the strategies at least 7 kan. The big companies in the world stimulating innovation and invention lah. Macam mana nak flourish this innovation, okay, and invention. Tengok dekat ni. And then saya rasa saya dah kasih link untuk Jamboard. Nanti you letak. Nanti you tulis. Ni Jamboard awak masuk. Awak masuk ni. Gamebot ni page 4. Okay, page 4 eh. Awak pergi page 4. Kenapa saya tak boleh copy? Oh, saya guna use freeoffice.com. Okay, pergi ke ni lah. Awak pergi Jamboard tu, chapter page 4. Awak listkan 7 cara. Kat situ ada kan? Kalau awak baca chapter 50 lah. Chapter pula, page 50. Eh? Saya masuk dari sini. So, apa strategi dia kat situ? Awak boleh listkan dalam Jamboard. Awak ada kan saya punya slide? Share. Jamboard. Ni. Ya, awak tulis kat sini. 1, 2, 3. Boleh lah tulis. Tulis dia guna sticky note. Okay, macam mana you nak encourage the panggil innovation and invention lah. Yang ni saya takkan explain lah. Ini lebih kepada aktiviti sebab semuanya adalah words. Okay, part ni sebenarnya sebab tu saya reducekan ke dia pendek je lah. Okay, pendek je. Okay, boleh masuk Cuba masuk tu and then tulis lah. Cuba tulis. Saya kasih dalam 5 minit je. Ada tu dah semua jawapan. You just tuliskan je. Apa yang you boleh buat kalau awak baca situ kan, apa dia punya panggil lah role dia lah ataupun method untuk kita stimulate that innovation, invention and innovation. Apa tulis? Cuba tulis. Tak ada yang tulis. Idea from page 50. Okay, saya kasih 5 minit. Buku chapter berapa? Chapter 3. Page 50. Page 50. Chapter 3 Tak jumpa pula. Ni saya dah tengok ni. Section 3.2. Page 50. Tu. Page 50. Kan? Tech forum. Okay, tech forum. Hmm. Hmm. Awak just copy je. Try lah summary ke sikit kan. Okay. Tech forum. Okay. Tech forum. This one is based on the company lah. Okay, Samsung, Starbucks, 3M kan. Tapi you boleh generalkan lah. Generalkan benda tu. Generalkan. Maksudnya with your own word lah. Pergi ke situ. Betul lah. Siapa ni? Rohaizam Kenapa pergi ke situ? Kenapa awak pergi ke situ, Rohaizam? Dah boleh dah?
Saya tekan link tu dia tak terus ke ni lah doktor. Dia buka yang apa general dia.
Yang lain? Yang lain boleh kan? Kenapa? Yang lain boleh pula. Cuba awak dekat search dekat atas tu. Awak type SKTK4143. Ada tak?
Okey doktor jap.
Dia dekat search tu ada tak atas? Ini daripada awak punya ni saya rasa. List ni. Apa ni? Stretch goal. Ini more to specific to 3M policy lah. Kalau better macam you generalkan lah kan. Untuk company ni you buat macam policy dia. Kalau stretch goal ni maksudnya macam set clear goals lah kan, for invention and intervention. Kan senang tu. Macam tu, set clear goal. Tak adalah panjang sangat. Yang ni awak copy daripada memang company ni, internet surfing Samsung. So awak boleh lah, maksudnya find the what is it, information and database from the website. Kan dia general tu. Okay. Ini you memang copy 100% daripada company tu. Okay. Dapat Raizal? Boleh masuk? Okay. So,
Boleh je no item search.
no item search. Kenapa orang lain boleh masuk?
Itulah saya boleh pula dia tak terus ke link tu. Dia pergi dekat yang sebelum-sebelum ni.
Itulah. Kenapa saya tak tahu dah yang tu. So, saya kasih patutnya orang lain boleh terus ke link kan. Saya dah buat public lah. Ke you kena log out dulu. Log out you punya apa tu, Google tu. You log out dulu, kemudian you ambil link tu. Sebab you
Okay.
log in as you punya nama kan.
Betul.
Cuba you log out.
Okay.
Okay lah, tak apa. You just proceed lah. Next. You tengok lah. Okay. So, kita tengok Okay. Tak apa. Okay. So, sebenarnya jawapan dia betul lah. Okay. Kalau based on that company. Tapi kita boleh secara generalkan lah. Ini jawapan dia. Dia pun dalam slide tu. Okay. So, encourage invention and innovation culture, provide platform for the exhibition, showcase, right? Reward good invention and innovations. This one is maybe for the best of employee, best of innovation. We have what we call it as, kalau kat UTM ni kita ada Inatech kan, and then iTech macam tu lah, dia invention and innovation, new invention and innovation. What is the set clear goals lah, macam tadi you kata apa tadi, stretch goal kan, set the clear goals lah. Provide facilities like research, right? What else? Apa lagi ya? Kalau selain research, dia punya tu lah. Untuk you nak buat produk tu kan, dia punya plan tu lah. Okay. Seek new ideas from outside. This one is, of course, important. You have to find a new. You have many competitors in terms of B2C product, right? So you have to see what is your advantage. Okay, what is the difference with the other companies, product from other companies. And seek to know the trend and needs of the market. Yang ni yang antara yang penting kan. Kenapa macam Samsung and also Apple still maintain dia punya ni kan, dia punya standard kan. Sebab dia selalu mencari benda-benda yang baru lah, in term of the camera kan. Apa lagi? Maybe another function. Kalau berbanding handphone lain kan, mungkin kamera ni kalau company A lagi bagus daripada company B. Itu yang you perlu buat lah, needs of the market kan. Kadang-kadang orang cari handphone nak tengok kamera, kadang-kadang senang nak access. Kenapa orang lagi suka Android berbanding Apple, mungkin in term of harga lah. Okay, itu salah satu lah. Kita kena tengok trend tu lah. Faham saya rasa awak pun tahulah kot kan, in term of this, why you need you punya advantage lah kalau you nak buat product design. Okay, macam you punya company pun, of course they have their own advantage and their own market. Okay, kita tak boleh supply to all the panggil around the world kan, you ada you punya target. Okay, macam you nak produce pellet from the biomass. Okay, what is the market, the need market kan, in term of 10 years ago and now, right? Kalau dekat Malaysia ni biomass untuk produce pellet ni tak banyak. Okay, and they have their own association kan. Itu market dia boleh dikatakan luas lah buat masa sekarang. Okay, sebab macam company Jepun, US kan, Korea, dia beli pellet kan. Ada yang beli pellet untuk dekat Korea tu, dia beli pellet untuk dia letak dekat apa ni, kandang kan, supaya dia punya ni dia pijak senang lah untuk dia bersihkan dia punya tu kan, tahi binatang tu kan, macam lembu ke kan. Bila berak terus atas pellet kan. Okay, dia tapi ada different jenis of pellet lah, ada soft pellet, hard pellet kan. Okay, itu salah satu yang pellet boleh guna juga untuk boiler kan. Itu siapa yang tahu lah, siapa kerja in term of boiler ke biomass ke kan. Okay, ada yang kerja macam tu tak? Pellet ni sekarang memang bagus lah. Okay. Okay, as conclusion, invention and innovation are no longer an option to chemical industry today. Memang kena lah. Especially new invention lah. Creative and innovative culture does not come naturally but should cultivate through different strategies. Kita kena tengok lah, especially the market lah. Yang saya cakap tadi in term of the pellet kan. Itu profitable tu tinggi. Okay. Okay. Ada soalan tak? In term of stimulating innovation and invention and also design literature. Ada tak soalan? CPD space apa ya? Apa ni? Tak boleh. Tak boleh Rohizam. Kalau tak boleh. Sebab orang lain boleh pula. Saya tak pasti.
Tak boleh lagi tu. Tak apa saya try lagi.
Tak boleh. Tapi tak apa. Tak boleh tak apa. Okay, ada soalan Saya rasa hari ni kita akan habis cepat tanya. By 12 lah. Sebab very short lah. And then next week, the main core part, kita akan learn how to use the Saya lupa pula nak kasih software tu. You kena install dulu lah. iCast software. And then kita akan guna, sebab that is gonna be you will use as for your project lah. Okay. I think we can divide it into 2 teams. Okay, 2 teams. 5-4 lah. I think the number of student enrolled in my courses is 9 lah, including that new student. If she's not join this one is okay. So just 4. Okay. So in term of group, you can choose among yourself. Okay, I let you choose lah. Okay, but must be 4 lah. Okay, buat masa sekarang ni 4 kan. So you boleh choose and kasih nama saya dalam group lah. Faham 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ada 8. So you just letak dalam group 1, group 2. Letak nama. Awak nak nama apa? Dia bincang lah. Okay. Kalau saya letak ni, saya just letak je. Okay. Okay, saya rasa tak ada soalan. Okay. For design literatures and also stimulating innovation and invention lah. Okay. So we move to the energy. Okay. Energy and sustainability. Okay. Environmental protection lah. Kemudian nanti kita akan break sekejap. 5 to 15 minutes lah. Okay. Let's see about the energy lah, the topic of energy. I think awak semua tahulah what is the energy lah. Okay. So kalau awak tengok sini kan, utilization of coal, oil, natural gas energy is the source need a change due to the first is of course the depletions and also environmental pollution kan. So kalau you tengok mostly from the petroleum and also oils or natural gas is going to be produced macam CO2, NOx kan. There is a no sequester for the carbon kan. Sequester maksudnya dia recycle balik lah. Kalau in term of renewable energy, carbon tu dia akan recycle, dia masuk balik. Is a closed loop. Okay, so we need new energy sources. The potential one is we have a wind energy, right? Hydrogen, biofuels. Biofuels is from the biomass or natural sources lah. Okay, solar, wind, geothermal and also nuclear. Okay, sebab kalau coal, oil and also natural gas, as I told you, is high energy density fuel. Okay, once you burn it, you're going to release CO2, right? We call it as greenhouse gases lah. Okay, NOx, kan, SO2. Okay, you cannot simply release that SO2 to the environment. You have to treat it or absorb lah. Okay, so once you release SO2, it's going to produce what we call it as acid rain when it react with the water. Okay, because it's bila react SO2 react with the water, hydrogen and H2O and also SO2, of course it's going to produce sulfuric acid kan. Dia akan jadi acid rain. Okay, and it's not renewable, we call it as conventional lah. Okay, it's found in the earth. Kemudian kita akan ambil through the geological process kan. Because the process is a millions years. Itu yang saya kasih tahu lah. Okay, and it's gonna be depleted. Even sekarang harga minyak pun naik kan. Sebab war antara Russia and also Ukraine lah. Tapi mostly the energy sources from the Europe come from the Russia actually kan. Sebab tu harga minyak tinggi. Nak tak nak memang dia orang kena belilah kan. Europe, sebab tak ada lagi apa panggil energy sources ataupun yang boleh supply sebanyak 7 million per day ke Europe kan. Hanya daripada Russia je boleh kan. Okay. Okay. So for the modern uh, era or in this 21st century kan. So we have to find the new energy sources lah. Okay. Yang ni kita kena dapatkan lah. Okay. Of course it's not gonna maybe not currently it's not gonna replace 100% but some percentage, okay, macam biofuel some certain percent kan. Wind kalau dekat Germany tu kalau saya pergi kita akan nampak wind turbine lah. Itu kita guna wind energy kan. Okay. Okay, kalau macam fuel macam biodiesel kan. Kalau Brazil tu bioethanol. Itu memang starting dia bioethanol daripada Brazil kan. Okay, saya rasa daripada sugarcane. Okay, kalau US more to corn lah. Jagung kan. Malaysia kalau sekarang ni kebanyakan kita our main sources oil palm kan. Daripada situ lah kita banyak abundant of the AFB and so on kan. Tapi kalau itu pun sekarang susah juga nak dapat kan. Okay. 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 So if you want to have an overview about the energy sources, okay, you can visit this. You can go through these videos lah about the biofuels. What is the biofuels? Okay. Kalau macam saya memang saya pun study about the biofuels production lah, biomass conversion. Okay, from the biomass kalau Malaysia ni saya guna EFB, EMT kan. Tapi is just small scale lah. Tapi kalau sekarang ni saya banyak fokus kepada biochar untuk main soil kan. Sebab ada tanah yang rosak macam mana kita nak elokkan balik kan. Supaya kita boleh tanam. Boleh tanam dan boleh ni lah. Dapatkan hasil kan. Okay, all this list I think you familiar lah kan untuk with this renewable energy. So please go through this video. Selalunya kadang-kadang saya akan ambil test ni daripada sini. Itu yang bagus.
Note ni.
Kan, you kena tengok video ni lah. You kena tengok video ni. Salah satu ni memang sebab kadang-kadang sudah macam dia ini adalah setakat video je. And okay dah. Okay. As a conclusion, environmental protection and traditional energy sources depletion lead to the need of exploring alternative energy. Kan? Yang tadi saya cakap solar, geothermal and so on. Okay. So kalau tengok pun they have their own potential. Dia tak akan susah nak replace semua pun dari petroleum, tapi dia contribute some percentage sebab dia cover balik as a additional sources lah. Even dulu TNB ada perkenalkan setiap rumah untuk pasang solar kan ada certain discount kan, yang saya ingat lah. Saya tak tahu dia punya program tu ada lagi tak sekarang. It's quite good lah in terms of you pasang solar kan. Okay, when selecting energy sources it's important to recognize that decision involving environmental impacts. Itu yang penting lah. Jangan bila you biomass you tabang je semua pokok kan, tapi you tak tanam balik. Okay, itu salah. Second is a sustainability. Okay, macam mana you nak maintain the circle of the energy lah supaya kita boleh supply, we have to maintain, okay, until the next generation, our cucu and cicit lah. Okay, that is in terms of sustainability. Okay, so that is the energy lah. Anything you can read from the main textbooks. If you look at here, that starting from 3.3 until 3.4. Okay, so if you look at that in the page 52, the contribution of renewable energy is just a 9%. Nampak tu? It's just additional energy source. Currently we call it as orang kata top up lah, kan? Kita top up. It's not really we replace the petroleum or coal. Okay, like nuclear also kalau tengok France kan banyak guna, Japan kan. Tapi Malaysia kita ada rasanya nuclear yang kecil kan. Tapi in term to shift to the nuclear, banyak isu lah sebenarnya. Kan? Okay. Nampak tu, natural gas is 26%, coal 20% and petroleum 36%. Okay. Renewable energy is, if you look at there is, the contribution to the 9% is largest, I think, biofuel and also wood. Okay. Sebenarnya kalau you buat arang tu pun sebenarnya, kalau orang dulu-dulu macam saya buat arang kan daripada coconut shell, and then we use to heat atau untuk masak kan. Kita guna slow pyrolysis kita panggil. Tapi dulu tak tahu pun saya slow pyrolysis masa kecil-kecil bantu ayah saya kan. That is the source of energy actually untuk masak kan. Kecil-kecil lah. Saya ingat lagi kita masukkan dalam tong drum minyak tu kan yang besar kan. Dan kita masukkan coconut shell. Kita akan masuk banyak, kita bakar slow kan. Masa tu tak tahu lagi lah itu sebenarnya proses to produce the source of energy lah. Biochar ataupun charcoal lah. Arang batu kan. Jadi kalau sekarang ni that arang kalau you produce, you boleh jual. Okay, in term of pellet kan. As a combustion jugalah kan. Okay. So and so on lah. Hydrogen lah. Sekarang hydrogen energy memang sekarang tengah naik lah. Production of hydrogen. Sebab tu UTM also we have apa ni, Center of Energy Efficiency, Institute of Hydrogen Efficiency. Dia sekarang tengah naik lah. Maybe in the future, sekarang pun dah ada orang gunakan hydrogen fuels dalam kereta kan. Okay. Any question about the renewable energy before we move to the environmental protection? Tak ada kan? Senang eh?
Tak ada.
Saya rasa sepatutnya saya tak payah uh, tak kasih lecture pun, awak baca je. Cewa. Okay.
Banyak membaca doktor
Dia banyak baca je ni. Sebenarnya general knowledge lah saya rasa. Awak pun dah tahu kan? Step-step ni. Chapter tu ni. Apa dia? Sama tadi?
Macam calculation ada juga. Macam
Calculation. Nantilah. Lepas ni chapter 3. Yang tu. Ada. Economic memang ada. Tapi chapter 1, 2 ni just like a introduction. Before we start with calculation nanti, ni lah after this lah. Chapter 4, chapter 5. 5 tu. How to design the product. The step. You need the knowledge from the, what you call it, daripada thermodynamics kan, daripada kinetic, chemical, itu yang you kena tahu mass transfer. Okay, you can refer from any textbook. Okay, so kalau tak ada, before kita rehat sekejap, saya masuk environmental protection lah. So for environmental protection, yes, yalah yang saya cakap tadi, environmental protection is one of the major issues for the conventional energy sources, right? Okay, sebab soot kan, NOx kan. So for this section actually, we are more focusing on the reviewing the environmental issue lah. What we have to do, okay. What is the factor in the process design, right? Okay. Sebenarnya banyak effort untuk kita protect environmental, okay. Removing the pollution, sebab kita bila you in term of the power plant also they emit waste, right, in term of gas, liquid, of course in the solid stream, right. Kalau solid ni biasa biomass, dia akan ada solid lah. Petroleum, mostly major liquid and also gas. So you have to trade. Okay. So we have to shift to like we call it as a waste minimization, right? Waste reduction or prevention, pollution prevention. Yang tu kita kena consider. Sebab kalau dulu-dulu tahun 90-an, 60-an, 70-an, 50-an, kita tak ada consider pun in term of environmental protection kan. Yang dulu-dulu in term of first generation of the panggil apa? Kalau tengok energy revolution kita sekarang IR 4.0 kan. Mungkin IR 1.0 yang dulu-dulu memang kita tak consider. So we need the sustainability in term of the selection of raw materials, okay, and also chemical product lah. Okay, that is what we have to really need to consider. Okay. Okay. So if you look at that, since late 1970s, kan, in many industrial nation, okay, environmental protection has transformed from secondary to primary issue, kan? To late 1970 dia cakap. Maksudnya sebelum tu memang dia orang tak ada, memang dia fikir tapi it's just secondary kan, dia tak ada. Bila ada ozon nipis baru, bila ada masalah barulah, macamlah plastik kan. Sebenarnya yang saya baca, plastik ni dulu dicipta sebab dia nak menyelamatkan environment. Researcher lah, they create, they innovate the plastic kan. Sebenarnya dia orang nak menyelamatkan environment. Tapi terbalik pula sekarang kan. So sebab plastik ni, the degradation is gonna take macam panjang kan. 100 years, 1,000. That's why we are looking for the biodegradable plastic lah. Kalau you pergi Iron Mall pun sekarang kan, semua plastik nipis-nipis kan, senang koyak. Itu sebenarnya yang biodegradable. Even dekat Johor pun dia kalau macam pembungkus makanan pun yang plastik yang senang nak recycle kan. Alamak hujan. So that is the concern lah. Kalau pergi restoran pun straw kan. Tapi saya kalau straw ni kadang pelik juga kan. Banyak kempen tentang penggunaan straw yang maksudnya macam mana jangan guna straw plastik kan. Tapi kadang-kadang saya terfikir macam konspirasi jugalah kan. Kenapa asyik straw je kan. Okay. And then they more focus on throwing the straw dekat laut kan. Tapi itulah, we have to jaga ni lah environment lah kan. Tak kisahlah you guna plastik biodegradable ataupun non biodegradable, what you have to dispose properly lah in the end kan. Kalau you even biodegradable pun kalau you tak dispose properly, even the degradation is gonna be take time kan. Okay. And in Indonesia dia, kalau kat Indonesia tu saya tengok ada yang saya tak ingat Indonesia ke mana, dia buat plastic bag selepas shopping tu, dia masukkan je plastic bag tu dalam air, terus dia solubles dalam air. That one I think from the kanji daripada apa, bukan potato, ubi kayu kan. Itu is quite good lah. Tapi yang saya tak suka bila biodegradable tu, plastik tu terlalu nipis kan. Sepatutnya buatlah tebal sikit kan. Bila kita bawa barang kan, yelah pecah pula kan, jatuh. Tapi itu tahulah, tak kisahlah. Yang penting boleh bawa beg sendiri lah. Okay. What else? Therefore, it must be taken into consideration in the product and process design. Yes, early effort to protect the environment focus on the removal of pollution from the waste gas, solid and also stream. Now we are trying to shift to the waste minimization. We can convert to another product, for example. Okay, something very valuable. Okay, maybe for if you working in the power plant from the Petronas, I'm not sure the product you can sell it also kan. Okay. Must reduce whatever pollution okay, in the water, right? You have to remediate, okay, before you you throw it or in the river and so on, okay, emit it to the air and so on. Okay, so since we have to shift it to the waste minimization, this is the paradigm, okay. Waste management hierarchy, what we have to do, what we prefer is a source reduction, and also you have to reuse, okay, recycling, energy recovery, and also treatment disposal. This is the last choice for the waste minimization hierarchy lah. Yang dispose ni biasa memang last lah. Tapi kita lebih kalau sampah pun sekarang kebanyakan kita more to conventional lagi, and land dispose kan. although we have an incinerator and so on, right? Tapi kita banyak lagi untuk waste minimization through the land disposal. Okay. Okay. So key environmental issue. Okay. Kalau awak tengok kat sini, closely related to the design of the chemical product and processes, which is burning the fossil fuel, right? Handling the toxic chemicals, apa lagi? Bioaccumulated chemicals, toxic metal and minerals. And kalau sekarang awak perasan, awak baca atau baca dekat medsos ataupun any news, right? Sebenarnya dekat badan manusia ni pun researcher dah detected microplastik kan. Itu yang bahaya kan dalam darah kan. Microplastik ni memang tak nampak. Kadang-kadang you kalau you guna scrubbing kan. Scrubbing tu sebenarnya ada plastik sebenarnya. Scrubbing yang you untuk badan kan. Dan ada microbag. Itu yang bahaya kat dalam darah kan. Okay. So for the burning fossil fuel, the first key issue kalau awak tengok kat sini kan, this is the fossil fuel, of course, predominant source. Okay. Combustion of the product selalunya dia ada banyak pollution kan. Dia ada salt, NOx kan, soot, ash, hydrocarbon. Ni dia punya effluent gas lah. Okay. So dia akan produce acid rain, right? Smoke, hazards. Okay, apa lagi? Accumulation of the what we call it as a CO2, CH4 kan. Okay, VOC, volatile organic compound. And then organic gas, and then react with NOx, and it's gonna be decrease, of course gonna decrease the oxygen level, or not oxygen, the ozone level. Itu yang problem kan. So dia akan kasih impact ataupun adverse effect pada kesihatan manusia dan juga apa lagi, haiwan kan. Okay. So that is the problem lah kan, environmental issue, especially for the fossil burning lah. Okay. So how to reduce the level of pollution? Separate, adjust, separate, react. Okay. Separate from the source, you have to treat it. Okay. Adjust the combustion process. This is starting from the what we call it as the process itself lah, kan? So that we can, when you want to, if you adjust the combustion process, kan? So kita boleh sebenarnya boleh cost untuk removing the contaminant fuels, contaminants gonna be reduced lah. Okay, sebab kita adjust ataupun kita perbaiki daripada proses tu sendiri, rather than we treat at the end of the process, kan? Itu yang bagus. And then separate from the effluent gas, any absorption atau separation, and then we react with the catalytic converter before you emit the pollutant, right? That one is the key advantage for the burning fossil fuels. Okay. Okay, so for more videos you can visit that YouTube website, okay, about the burning of the fossil fuel. What else? Handling the toxic waste. Okay. So kalau tengok sini, we can treat, store, dispose on the site. Okay, but at the end kalau you tak boleh nak handle this one, you have to ni lah, end up in landfills lah kat situ. Okay, itu yang paling last lah in term of hierarchy. Okay, sebab kadang-kadang kalau kita buried dalam land pun, kalau kita tak exactly jaga benda tu, dia sebenarnya boleh threaten the nearby resident sebenarnya. Okay, itu kita kena consider je lah. Kita kena consider sebenarnya, very important lah. And then akan affect, give impact on the underground water supply. Itu antara yang concern lah. Okay, itu mungkin dulu lah, tapi sekarang mungkin dah in term of macam mana nak kawal tu much better. Okay. Okay, for the bioaccumulated chemicals, if you look at here that DDT, itu yang dulu DDT kan, pest control, aerosol. Ini antara yang isu dulu pernah concern lah kalau masa kecil-kecil aerosol tu kan, macam mana nak replace ya. And then what else? Microbag pollution. Ni kalau you guna ni kan, microbag pollution yang bila masuk dekat, bila you guna masa mandi kan, scrubbing kan kita guna kan. Saya pun guna scrubbing juga. Lepas tu kalau you wash, dia masuk dalam ocean, masuk dalam water. Kemudian kita pula makan. Itulah mungkin salah satu reason kenapa ada, mungkin lah, saya tak tahu lah, kenapa ada microbags atau microplastik dalam you punya darah. You buka you lah market yang dia report tu lah kan. Microbags plastik ni. Itu bahaya kan. Macam mana nak prevent? But that is one of the, kadang-kadang consumer suka kan. Dah bila you scrubbing badan tu sedap kan. Apa yang tak sedap kan? That is the consumer preference kan. But how can we control this microbags pollution? That is also another thing that we have to consider. Okay. And the last one I think is toxic metal and minerals. So kalau awak tengok sini, lead, mercury, cadmium, asbestos, kadang daripada paint pun kita boleh dapat, kita ada toxic metals kan and minerals. Lead dalam paint lead dalam paint. Lagi-lagi kalau bangunan lama kan, itu lagi tinggi dia punya VOC sebenarnya, volatile organic compound ni. Itu kalau cat tu kalau dah lama tu kena cat balik lah. Okay, kalau dalam fuel kan tetraethyl lead, kalau dulu sebab tu kalau dulu masa shift kepada non plumbum kan, kalau dulu fuel ada ni tau, tetraethyl lead kan, minyak tanpa plumbum kan, itu dia macam mana dia shift kan, sebab dia bahaya kan. Okay, so dia dah banyak replace lah. Okay, and then asbestos dalam building juga kan. Okay, itu contoh lah in term of key environmental issue. So kalau tengok kat sini, environmental friendly product and process design strategies, reaction pathway tu kita kena tengok lah how to reduce the product, reducing and reusing. You have to tune the waste quality. Environmental objective in design objective and the process model, what is the challenge and what is the solution. Okay, supaya kita boleh follow the regulation on the environment. That is the what we call it, kita kena jagalah kita punya environment. Okay, so before we stop, I give you 10 minutes. If you look at here, two serious environmental problems have received considerable attention over the past 3 decades. This A is the serious depletion of ozone in the Earth's stratosphere, especially over the north and south poles. How has this depletion occurred, and why does it present a serious health problem? You have to discuss the what we call it as why, kenapa ozone tu rendah kan? Kenapa kan? And then the serious build up of ozone in the big cities due to the air pollution. How has this build up occurred and why does it present the serious health problem? Okay, can you discuss and pose it in the go to the page 5. Right. Boleh tak jawab A and B? Kenapa? Apa yang menyebabkan ozon tu rendah sebenarnya? Bukan rendah. Apa nipis ni? Nipis. Boleh kasih jawapan? Awak pergi ke page 5.
5 Okay.
Page 5. New page lah. Page 5. Before we stop lah. Ada 10 minit kan sebelum pukul 11 kan. Saya rasa pukul 12 ni kita boleh habis. caused by the release of chemical containing chlorine or bromine from the extract human activity. Kalau A tu inlet apa eh? Terus pasti dikit. Kalau dulu kalau awak mula-mula kan depletion of ozone kan sebab apa? Kalau awak ingat dulu-dulu. Even sekarang lah sebenarnya.
Fluorocarbon, CFC kan?
Yes. Betul kan. Okay. CFC. You boleh tulis CFC. That one is correct. Kalau B tu mungkin yes daripada industri. Tapi kalau stratosphere, North Pole and South Pole tu, saya rasa mostly is CFC lah. Power methane release kan. Betul itu kalau yang B lah. Okay. Methane release from dairy farm. Ini mungkin yang industri lah. Okay, tapi kalau yang B tu kan combustion fossil fuels, of course from the what is it? Daripada transportation kan, daripada industri, tu yang B lah. Okay. Okay, so saya rasa semua faham kot. Ada soalan tak? Before we berhenti kejap. Ada soalan tak?
Ada.
Okay, kalau tak ada 11:10 kita mula balik. Dah habis dah apa senang. So let's we continue on the sustainability lah. So after sustainability, I will give lecture on the engineering ethics lah. Sebenarnya engineering ethics ni pun saya rasa semua dah tahu kot. It's just a general information. Okay. So sebenarnya sustainable product ni is one of the yang society nak lah sekarang ni kan. The society needs lah. Okay. Sebenarnya dia nak kita keep it, orang maintain for the future generation kan. A sustainable product is one that meets the need of the society today while respecting the anticipated needs of the future generation. So memang kita nak bukanlah masa sekarang je kan, something in the future pun orang boleh guna balik kan. Maksudnya yang benda yang kita boleh maintain kan, contohnya macam petroleum kan, dia dah tak sustain. Okay, kita kena find another new energy sources. Okay, so the product should be orang panggil avoid the harming the environment. Kalau tengok kat sini, what we call it as a green lah. Green ni dia tak in term of pollution, dia tak akan affect the pollution, the human health. Itu kita call it as a green. Okay. Kalau awak tengok kat sini, dia kena merangkumi in term of environmental, social and also economic. Kan? So ini yang kita kena consider. This is what we call it as a sustainability lah. Dia merangkumi ketiga-tiga aspect social, economic and environment. Okay. So kalau tengok environment, kita kena prevent of the environment pollution lah, atau macam mana kita boleh reducekan benda tu. Okay. Dia tak akan affect the water kan, land, waste and so on. Okay. And then economics give the profit. Kalau even the fixed cost is small but give a higher profit. Okay. Itu salah satu in term of the sustainability lah. Socials, okay. Standard of living, education, okay, dia takkan ada effect lah. So selalunya kita akan preserve the natural resources kan. Kita nak prevent the climate change. Itu antara salah satu aspect of the sustainability lah. Okay, let's see the key issue of the sustainability, right? Kalau kat sini kita tengok selalunya kalau growing emphasis on the sustainability is closely related to the increasing of the recognition of global warming lah. So sebenarnya kalau awak tengok traditional supplier, right, macam oil and natural gas kan, kat situ mostly the large percentage of energy manufacturing sebenarnya daripada oil and natural gas kan, and waste also sebenarnya daripada manufacturing oil and also natural gas lah, petroleum. Okay, I think it's almost 80%. So this one is mostly related to the chemical industry kan. What else? Petroleum refining, okay, chemical production, steel and so on. Okay. So in order to achieve sustainability, tapi kita boleh produce high quality of the product. So actually kita kalau nak maintain the goal of sustainability, kita kena gunakan small amount of raw materials and energy. Okay, but we have to produce by producing a small amount of waste with the high quality of the product. Itu nak achieve the sustainability lah. Okay, itu salah satu dia punya goal. Okay, sebab kalau kita tengok dalam tahun 2000 something lah, 2005, 2008 kan, kalau kita dah banyak move toward the usage of renewable also green resources. Okay, sebenarnya Brazil dah mula dah, dia yang leading untuk buat renewable green resources. Okay, especially the production of bioethanol lah, daripada sugars kan. Yang ni dia convert kepada ethanol, and then dia nak substitute the gasoline. Sebab kalau dulu tak silap saya, dia ada kena mengena dengan US jugalah. Okay, kenapa dia tak supply the petroleum, saya rasa. Tapi memang ada dulu masa ada masalah Brazil dengan US. Itu yang saya ingat balik lah kot. Okay, kalau tak silap saya lah. Kalau salah, betulkan lah. Okay, itu yang Brazil shift from the gasoline to the bioethanol. Okay, so biomass juga boleh produce sebenarnya banyak other chemicals lah. Okay, propanediol, tetrahydrofuran. Macam kalau research saya akan saya cari apa dipanggil biofuel additive. Itu salah satu yang boleh replace the panggil petroleum lah, ataupun gasoline and diesel lah. So bila you burn, okay, dia akan produce carbon dioxide. Tapi sebenarnya dia is carbon sequester. Okay, yang mana dia akan recycle balik lah. Yang kalau plant tu dia akan absorb balik lah carbon tu. Okay, itu salah satu kenapa kita panggil green lah. So kita kalau in term of sustainability also, salah satu indicators yang kita akan measure adalah in term of life cycle of the designing the chemical products lah. Okay, itu salah satu. Kita nak tengok dia biodegradables. Okay, apa life cycle dia, sama ada dia emit carbon tu dia boleh sequester balik ke tak. Okay, itu adalah satu life cycle lah. Okay, contohnya macam biodegradable plastik, biodegradable microcapsule kan. Itu kalau daripada the source is a renewable, itu selalunya yang kita consider lah. Okay, kalau kita nak macam mana attempt to design the sustainable industrial process, okay, kita kena ada indicators lah. Okay, Yang ni kita akan tahulah sama ada the process is sustainable ataupun green ke tak, kan? So salah satunya untuk industrial process assembly, the indicators is gunakan green scope. Okay. And salah satu dia adalah second is adalah cycle analysis lah. Life cycle analysis nanti kita. Kalau yang sebelah sini, yang sebelah kanan ni, ni life cycle analysis lah. Daripada raw materials, kemudian material manufacturer, product manufacturer, consumption, and then life cycle kita tengok balik raw material acquisition. Okay. Ni life cycle analysis lah. Berapa energi dia, berapa profit, apa dia guna fuel apa kan. Kalau macam biomass tu kan, kita nak produce biodiesel. Okay. Dia green ke tak? Okay. Transportation masih guna conventional fuel ke tak? Itu semua in term of tu kita akan measure. Okay. Untuk green scope, kalau tengok sini sebenarnya is full name dia adalah gauging reaction effectiveness for the environmental sustainability chemistry with the multi objective process evaluators lah. Green scope je lah saya panggil kan. Ni dia sebenarnya kalau awak tengok web, panggil apa? Web chart kan. Dia macam web chart lah. Okay. So kita akan evaluate the process dalam 140 different indicators lah. Ada sampai kalaunya sampai 5 level lah. Dia punya scale tu. Okay. Paling rendah level 1. Paling rendah level 1. Dia ada level 1. Level 1. Kan? So yang ni selalunya kita akan sama ada you punya facilities compliant ke tak. Okay. Contohnya melibatkan cost, environment, health, kan, safety, compliance. Kalau level tu kita akan measure in term of, sini letak saya. Okay, 105 level. Okay. So kalau level tu kita akan measure of materials use and also performance lah. Contohnya energy use, material use. Okay. Customer complaint. Itu level 2. Level 3 facility effect. Okay. The percentage of the workers, okay, can complete the job satisfaction and do in terms of facility effect lah. Level 4 supply chain and product life cycle. Kat situ kita akan tengok sama ada produk can disassembly or reuse, recycling, supply chain of the product lah. Okay. So kalau awak nak tengok dia punya explanation tu sustainability indicator untuk green scope, okay, you boleh tengok page 61 lah. Okay. Yang bawah tu sustainability indicator. Okay. And level 5 more to the measure system effect lah. So kat situ ecological cumulative energy consumption. Okay. So sebenarnya kita akan buat macam sekolah, dia akan ada web punya chart. Okay. Tahu kan web punya chart kan. Okay. So best score 100% and worst score is 0% lah sustainability. Okay. Kalau awak tengok dekat sini adalah green scope untuk yang ni production apa? Biodiesel. Okay. So kalau awak tengok dekat sini yang ni adalah biodiesel, dia guna NaOH. Okay. Sebenarnya kalau tengok kebanyakan dia approach unity. Kan? Kalau biodiesel ni. Yang ni. 100% kan. 100%. Ni semua 100%. Kan? Dia punya apa dia panggil in term of sustainability lah. Okay. Kalau hazard mat kan. Tapi kalau hazard mat ni dalam 40% lah. Okay. Dia ada 40% je in term of the sustainability. Okay. Dan maksudnya high ratio of hazardous input lah dekat sini. Okay. Kalau kita tengok mass spec 53 kan. 53. Yang ni kan. Okay. So it's around 15% lah. Sebab sini 10 lah. 15%. So mass solid waste dengan mass biodiesel product, maksudnya rendah lah dekat sini. Solid waste dengan biodiesel product. Okay. And then kalau kita tengok FTA, contohnya FTA 13. Dia. Ni pun rendah kan. Okay. So kalau in term of the failures, dia akan ada masalah kat sini. Tapi yang lain ni semua unity lah. Kalau tengok apa scope PBT, apa lagi, biomass chronic toxicity kan, ni sustainability, maksudnya green lah. Fire explosion, ni semua bagus lah kalau 100%. Okay, yang kalau worst case, kalau tak banyak yang worst case. Worst case lah ni kira tak bagus lah kan, 50% kan, 50% rendah lah, almost worst lah. Okay, so kat sini kita boleh improve lah based kepada dia punya ni green scope ni. Okay, for the you boleh propose untuk biodiesel process lah. Okay, everything kalau nak refer about the green scope, you boleh refer journal using green scope process and additional opportunities. Sebab ini lebih design, kalau bidang saya bukanlah life cycle analysis pun. Ni life cycle analysis. Kalau life cycle analysis daripada cradle to the grave lah. So kat sini potential product ataupun process design lah untuk life cycle analysis. Okay. Starting daripada you pilih raw material sampailah dia punya harvesting technique and so on, sampai ke kilang end of life phase and then mula balik. Contohnya macam production of the biofuels daripada algae, right? Algae. Okay. So dia ada triglycerides juga. Okay, dia boleh produce biofuel ataupun biodiesel kan. So sebenarnya biofuel ni ada carbon neutral. So kita boleh convert ke biofuels. Okay, life cycle analysis daripada nutrient, energy requirement, handling the byproduct, handling the macam mana kita nak get the biomass kan. And then produce the biodiesel. Biodiesel untuk apa? Untuk jet ke, untuk transportation kan, and also alternative process untuk cultivation of the algae kan, extraction, conversion of biofuels. Itu semua kita consider lah dekat sini kan. Material manufacture, materials ni macam mana kita dapatkan kan, daripada harvesting kan, extraction, product manufacture and so on. This is what we call it life cycle analysis. Dia ada close look lah kat situ. So as a conclusion, environmental and sustainability issue must be considered in product design lah for long benefits. Must consider different strategies, resources, okay. Propose a new development and also introduce how to cater this environmental friendly and also sustainable product. Caters maksudnya masalah yang ada lah kan, supaya dia more to environmental friendly and also sustainable product lah. So itu in term of sustainability lah. Okay, faham So dua indicators tu yang biasa orang guna lah. Biasanya saya dengar life cycle analysis lah. Green scope ni mungkin in term of company banyak guna juga lah. Tapi saya tak pernah, sebelum saya mengajar ni, saya tak pernah tahu tentang green scope lah. Sebab bukan bidang. Okay, kita tengok engineering ethics . Kalau engineering ethics ni sebenarnya a matter of life and death kan. Maksudnya moral benda tu kan. Moral sebagai engineer tu lah. Okay. Kalau tengok antara relationship, especially in term you punya supervisor dan juga orang lain kan, ataupun you punya boss ke kan. Macam mana you punya relationship tu, kalau bos awak kata suruh buang ni kan, waste tu kan. Tapi waste tu ada banyak toxic kan. Macam mana takkan you nak buang dia kan. So you as an engineer, what is the solution? Okay, sebab kalau you buang macam Sungai King Kim tu kan, itu saya tak tahu nak cerita lah kan. You just pakai buang je. Padahal banyak benda dalam tu toxic. Okay. Engineering ethics adalah philosophy that the way that engineers should conduct themselves in their professional capacity. Okay. So contohnya tadi bila you nak buang waste, kalau you tak ikut, of course you mungkin akan kena pecat ke kan. Tak boleh kena potong gaji ke. Tapi kalau you ikut dia akan effect kepada what is it, environment, human kan, the community, society. So what is the best solution? Sebab tu kita panggil sebenarnya is a matter of life and death lah benda tu. So, kita panggil susah nak buat keputusan kan. Itu masalah dia. Okay, apa-apa kalau in term of ethics tu sebenarnya you boleh refer kepada, kita ada engineer script lah kat sini. Kan. So you boleh baca lah National Society of the Professional Engineer ni. Ni saya tak akan explain, ni semua tu like a reading. And also ICA Code of Ethics lah. Kan. Honest, impartial, increase the competency and so on. And this is all the AICE chemical for chemical engineers lah. American Institute of Chemical Engineers, dia punya ethics. Okay, the reasonings kenapa kita perlu orang panggil ethics ni kita kena jagalah. So sebenarnya dia ada konflik lah. Okay, goal and interest. Contohnya goal you nak profit tinggi kan, and waste ni you tak consider pun. Sebab tu you punya supervisor kata you buang je waste ni kan kat dalam sungai. Jadi sebenarnya dia ada konflik kat situ. Okay, macam mana you nak maintain professional relationship antara you punya supervisor and you lah, and also with other colleague lah. Okay, sama ada a goal to be a loyal to interest of the employers and also client, right? Honest to the employers, honest to the society kan. Itu yang non-discriminatory, okay, co-workers and client, okay, between their race, religion kan. Sebenarnya everything is about your knowledge and also your skill lah. Macam mana you nak handle. Okay, for example kalau you punya supervisor kan, okay, kalau tengok kat sini kan, tanggungjawab kan, 200 liters drum filled with the machine coolant, right? Okay, so dia kata kat situ dump je coolant ni dekat drain, okay, ataupun mungkin dekat sungai ke kan, ataupun dekat landfill kan. Okay, tapi you macam berat hati kan, kalau you tak ikut ni lah kan, mungkin kena tendang lah. Tapi kalau ikut environment, problem the environment kan, tiba-tiba DOE pula kan, check kalau kat Malaysia lah kan. Dan macam jadi yang kat Sungai Kim tu semua kan, dekat Pasir Gudang kan. So what we have to do is we have to think lah. Kalau kita tengok the content of the machine coolant kan, okay, kita sekarang dalam dilema kan, okay. So takkan you nak jadi you nak report and then tiba-tiba company tutup kan. Itu pun satu masalah juga. Dia macam dilema lah. Okay. So apa yang kita perlu buat, kita kena find the better solution. Kan, ada alternatif based kepada paradigm case kan. So as engineer, apa yang you perlu buat adalah you have to remove the content, the toxic substance in the machine coolant. Okay, kita kena identify the process itself. Daripada proses tu apa yang contain inside the machine coolant tu ataupun the waste lah. Macam waste water lah kan, kita akan treat first before we dispose ataupun kita emit ke environment lah, ataupun to the air kalau in term of gases lah kan. Okay, so kalau kat sini adalah highest toxicities ada heavy metal, copper, lead and also zinc lah dalam ethylene glycol ni kan. Okay, so we can remove it by treating the copper and lead, or you can absorb before you dump into the river, or not dump to the river, okay, to the drain lah. How to remove, so we have to know the knowledge lah. Okay, how to remove copper, lead and also zinc, whether you can recycle, okay, or maybe can be stored as a tram oil and so on lah. Okay, and mungkin you boleh jual balik that waste. Okay, some byproduct is we can make a money. Okay, macam dulu saya buat internship oil, minyak hitam tu kan daripada kapal kan, kita recycle balik untuk jadi grade. Setiap grade A, B and so C lah. Yang A tu kita jual mahal, B jual murah sikit lah kan, minyak enjin kan daripada kapal tu kita collect balik, kita jual balik benda tu. Bukannya kita terus buangkan minyak tu. Sebab kita boleh recycle. Okey. Oh, ni dah ni Okay, kita buat last tutorial. Tutorial berapa ni? Tutorial 2 Ini tutorial berapa ni? Ketik dulu. Sekejap. Bukan yang ni lah. Sekejap Okey, yang ni lah. Saya share ni. Sekejap Pergi ke page 6. Saya akan paste ke page 6. Pergi ke page 6. Sekejap saya paste. Dekat apa ni? Dekat board lah. Pergi ke page 6. Sekejap Ada soalan. Tak besar pula ni. Nampak tak? Nampak Okey. Besar. Two serious environmental problems have received considerable attention over the past 3 decades. Ini pula salah ni. Silap pula. Yang ni. Dah ada ni. Okey, yang ni. Silap pula. Okey. Okey, baca kat situ Yang ni A. Alamak. Kenapa saya tak boleh tulis kat ni? Ya, awak baca dulu. Okay. You have received a job offer from startup company headed by PhD chemist to be their chief and only process engineer responsible to move their process for a novel solid adhesive from lab scale to full production. The product is produced in the lab by cooling a soap of chemical, some of which polymerize in the process. They require you to sign a contract before they disclose any technical details. How should you respond? Justify your response. A. Disagree. B. Agree. C. Agree. You baca kat situ. What is your choice? Apa you punya choice lah? A, B ataupun C. And what is your justification? Apa jawapannya? Sila jawab. Give me the panggil justifikasi. Any answer? What? Jawapan? Ada jawapan tak? Apa you punya choose ni?
Sekejap Doktor, sekejap.
A, B ataupun C? Di mana je? Awak kena pilih lah satu. You kena consider lah mana. Kenapa you jawab A? Kenapa you jawab B? Kenapa you jawab C? Kalau you pilih A, B ataupun C. Kenapa? Kalau you pilih C, kenapa? Justifikasi. Bukanlah you pilih mana-mana kan. You kena think first. And then kenapa you pilih A, B and C? Okay, okay Irwansyah. I need to see the full process. Okay. Before take the job, I need to know what. Okay, jawab ni. Ni bagus. Kalau A ni. That is good. Dah ada orang jawab lah. Mana lagi satu? Okay. Disagree because I want on job scope first and seperti. Okay. But it's already assigned, maybe I will consider. Susah juga kot. Okay. Tapi the better answer is A lah. You sebelum you agree tu, walaupun it's high kan, you kena tengok detail proses lah. Okay. So that's all. I think nanti yang lain tu saya letak dalam ni je lah kot. Dalam assignment ni. Assignment ni senang ni. Okay. Sebenarnya kita dah habis Oh, dah habis dah. Tak apa. Ini tutorial 2 ni nanti saya kasih dalam assignment in term of the what we call it as assignment homework. Any questions? Ada soalan tak? Ada soalan tak? Sebelum kita stop. Hari ni kita cepat lah. Okay. Nanti
Doktor.
chapter 3. Ya?
Tu bertanya untuk assignment 1 tu kan, untuk soalan yang bawah tu saya tak berapa nak faham sikit yang soalan 1 apa yang dia nak tu.
Soalan 1.
Assignment 1 yang untuk soalan yang kedua tu yang pasal sekejap saya buka kat file sekejap. Yang pasal ni apa?
House of quality.
Yes. QFD tu.
Okay. Awak ada buku teks kan?
Ada.
Ha.
Tapi bukan yang ni lah, yang download punya lah, bukan
Yelah.
copy punya.
Dia sama je. Awak kena apa dia punya soalan apa? Soalan untuk house of quality untuk produk apa? Lotion ni?
Dia
Lotion.
suruh choose salah satu produk ni lah, device or function product dengan formulated product.
Okay. Salah satu lah you pilih kan? Okay. Kalau awak tengok kat situ, contohnya dalam hand lotion tu, you kena tengok consumer preference dia kalau mana. Sekejap saya tengok soalannya. Bukannya. Saya buka je.
Dia ada forward dekat group WhatsApp dia tu.
Ya, soalan tu ada. Saya tengah nak buka ni. Buka soalan. Mungkin kalau nak share kat sini pun boleh juga.
Kalau share je, doktor saya try.
Dia sama je macam dalam buku tu. Okay. Cuma apa yang you perlu buat, dia ada A, B, dia ada elements of A, B, C, and D, E, F kan. Okay. Dan dia ada dia punya scale kan. Betul
Okey, okey.
Apa dah share belum?
Tak boleh nak share. Tak ada keluar.
Sekejap